Welcome back to my channel. My name is Showa Ederie, and literally from the title of this video you can see I'm here to give you some advice. If whilst you are studying psychology, these are the things that not only I wish I knew, but also the things I believe people need to know before studying psychology. Like, because I remember what it was like in A-levels when I picked psychology, and I do not regret it. Let's get that straight. I do not regret it. But I've definitely learned a lot, and that's things that people need to know before taking this degree. Okay, so the first thing you need to know is that psychology is just not an easy course. It's very difficult. They have almost everything in that subject. There's statistics, there's, you have to do presentations, there's essay writing, at one point we're coding. Like, there's a lot that goes into psychology, so it's a very demanding course. So if you're picking it and you're just picking it on a whim, you're going to be in for a shock, because it's just not easy. It's very hard. If you're picking it and you actually enjoy it, then that's a good thing, because it's that enjoyment that's going to hold you through the difficult times. You'll probably stop enjoying it at one point, but the enjoyment will come back, because you actually are interested in psychology. But if you're not sure what you want to take and you're just taking psychology, I'd just stop right there, because it is a very hard course. One thing you will have is deadlines probably all the time, especially in first year, like second year, third year. It's not. Psychology is one of those courses where as soon as you go into it, it's difficult. It's not like it just gets difficult in second year. It's difficult from from that first year. So yeah, if obviously you don't shy away from hard work, then this is fine for you. Like, just go into it knowing that it's not going to be easy. One thing I will say is, if you like the course at A-levels, you're definitely going to like it as a degree. Like, you're going to like it because you learn more, it goes in depth. Yeah, they take it up a level. And also, if your teacher was boring in A-level, it's okay. In uni you get multiple teachers, so if one is boring, I say teachers, lecturers, if one is boring, another one probably won't be. So it's good. It will be taught to a standard that more time these lecturers are passionate about what they're saying. More time. Unfortunately, there are obviously those ones that did you fall into this or what? But anyways, next point. I was told this before taking psychology, and I just want to really emphasize it just in case no one knows. The degree psychology is not enough. The psychology undergrad degree is not enough to take a career in psychology. It's not enough. You cannot do those three years for the course and think you're coming out and being a psychologist. It does not work like that. I want to make it very clear. There are multiple routes into becoming a different type of psychologist. There's different psychologists: educational, clinical, occupational. There's so many different psychologists. All of them had to have done a PhD in whatever that course is. Okay, so a PhD is 3 more years. A postgraduate, 3 more years, okay, of education. So in total, and you have to apply for that. In total, it will be 6 years of education in order for you to become a psychologist. Bearing in mind, you will need experience in that time. So you will need maybe 2 years of experience in that time. So to be a psychologist, if you're sitting here and you hope to become a psychologist one day, understand that you're going to have to do your 3 years undergrad course. Yeah, collect that degree. You're going to have to get some experience, at least 2 years worth. Then you're going to have to apply to do the postgraduate course. Some people do masters or whatever, but you don't necessarily need to. You can just apply to do the postgraduate course, which is a 3 years in addition course. So yeah, just be aware of that. Like, psychology is one of those careers that it takes a lot of education. One thing I will say, a lot of jobs you need more qualifications on top of it. The degree sometimes is not enough, but like in jobs that are like accounting, economics, finance, once you come out of uni, you can get a job and you can work up the ladder. You can do qualifications here and there while still getting paid. But when it comes to psychology, unfortunately, you're gonna have to complete your undergrad, go and work, and that working, don't expect to get too much money, because you're not going to get that much. You're probably going to get less than a lot of your peers, and be okay with that. If you have a long-term goal to become a psychologist, be okay with the first job you come out of university will be paying you maybe 20k, 20,000, and your age mates might be getting 26,000. Do you get what I'm saying? That's the reality of it. But if you truly want to become a psychologist, just keep working through the motions and know what you're getting out of it. You're getting that experience, okay? You're making those connections. Just keep going. But yeah, I wanted to make it extremely clear that the degree is not enough on its own. It's not enough on its own, and it's not for it's not for the faint-hearted. It's not for the faint-hearted. If you don't have a good work ethic, forget about this degree. If you are unable to discipline yourself, forget about this degree. And these are skills that you can learn, but if you know yourself and you know yourself well, that this that you don't have good work ethic, you don't want to put that much hard work into education, you're just going to uni because you just want to come out and get a degree, please go and pick an easier course, because psychology unfortunately is just not the one for you. So yeah, point number 3, psychology is extremely competitive. Okay, it's extremely competitive. You will see it in your lecture halls. Like, there's a lot of people who take psychology. Every single one of those heads who take psychology, most of them, I'll say, are going to want to take it further. So imagine, it's extremely competitive, which means that it's not going to be easy for you to get a job, and it's not going to be easy for you to get the further education that you need. You get used, I don't want to say get used to it, but be okay with the rejection side of it. You're going to be rejected probably more times than obviously you're accepted, and that's okay. If you're very certain this is the route you want to take, be prepared for the possibility of rejection. Your story might be different, you might not get rejected, but from what I've seen and from what I know, it's so competitive that it's inevitable that you're going to get rejected maybe once or twice, especially for the further education course. That postgraduate that I'm talking about, that 3-year course, you will be competing with not only your age mates, so the people who just graduated from university, but those who've got 5 years experience, those who are teachers, those who are transitioning from a counselling career profession. You are literally competing with some, I want to say talented, I'll say educational, very smart, I don't know, you're competing with a lot of different types of people. And so don't be disheartened if you get rejected a couple of times. Go back to the drawing board and ask yourself, how much do you want this? How much do you really want to be a psychologist? And then that should help you to really navigate your next steps. But yeah, this process isn't easy, it's highly competitive. Get ready for that. Number 4, I just wanted to tell you obviously do your own research as to where you can go with the psychology degree. Do your own research, but I want to tell you a couple of the sectors that you can go into, just in case you're not sure. And you know what, I'm doing the video anyway, so let me just round it up. So you can go into education, healthcare assistant, social worker, HR. There are a few others as well that you can go into. Like, do your research, but understand that all of them are going to require work experience. So be okay, again, this is what I'm saying, with working maybe a lower job in order to get that work experience for you to progress into something else. So for example, with education, maybe be okay, it's not even a lower job, just be okay with the fact that you might be being paid much less than your peers who are doing different degrees, who are done different degrees. Just understand that it's a process. Education doesn't make a lot of money, so they can't actually pay their staff a lot of money. If this is something that you wanted to do, i.e. educational psychology, then it's just one of the sacrifices you're gonna have to make. This is my story right now. I want to do educational psychology. What I think I do is my wanting has been shaken a little bit, I'll be honest, but I know I'm gonna need the experience of being in an educational setting, so I just have to firm it. I have to just put my head down, I have to endure. Which leads me to public sector jobs do not get paid as much. And I think I mentioned this in a previous video, but public sector jobs, which is the best way you can get psychology experience, is going to be with public service jobs. So even if you want to be a social worker, you need to work with kids. So you might need to do youth work, you might need to work in a school, nurseries, stuff like that. If you want to be a clinical psychologist, you're going to have to work in a hospital. You're not going to just jump and be an assistant psychologist. You're going to have to maybe be a healthcare assistant first. You might have to do some type of care work first. Like there's different levels that you're going to have to do to get that experience. And those levels unfortunately do not pay well. So be prepared for it to not pay you that well. I wish it was different, but it's not. I would honestly, my advice to anybody who was actually watching this, I'd be like, start thinking of a little side hustle, another business you can do. If you truly want to do psychology, that's great, that's fine. But maybe think of, if you're a girl and you're good at hair, maybe think of starting your business. You don't have to be the best, you just need to have a business that people want to come to. Okay, if you want to go learn how to do nails, learn how to do eyelashes. If you're a guy, I don't know, talk to other guys about it. I'm not quite sure. I'm trying to think of businesses you could create, but it's hard. But like, yeah, just think of the possibility of having a side business, because unfortunately the pay that you'll be getting whilst you're, you know, collecting this experience will not be a lot. And that's just what it is. My next piece of advice as well is that please plan to do a placement year. If you take psychology, plan to do a placement year. Why somebody would take psychology and not do a placement year is confusing to me. Only because what are you going to talk about in the interview stage? Me doing a placement year allowed me to have a lot of experience and skills to talk about when I then went back to uni and was looking for a part-time job. I was able to work as a tutor, I was able to work as a after school teacher, I was able to work as a nursery assistant because of the placement year I'd done. It had given me so much experience working with kids that I was able to talk about it. So I would say there's no rush to finishing your degree. Take a placement year if you do psychology. I would honestly suggest it, because it's like, trust me when I say you need the experience. You need the experience to show you whether you really want to take this further, but you also need the experience if you actually want to take it further. So there's no loss to it. So yeah. My last point is honestly just listen to your gut. If you're thinking of taking psychology because for some reason you feel connected to it, listen to it. It won't fail you. You won't fail it. Like, just go with it. It's going to be tough. It's going to be hard. The degree is going to be tough. It's going to be hard. Uni in general, that whole experience is hard. You just need to push through. Push through. If you really think psychology is for you, then yeah, put it down. Apply for it. Go with it. And you will be fine. You will be fine. As long as you have good work ethic and you're ready to work hard, you will be fine. And I don't use the word work hard loosely. I'm talking work harder than you probably ever worked before. Because at this stage, A-levels was very hard, very difficult. But what a degree requires from you is things that you would not have done during A-levels. So for example, staying in the libraries for 48 hours, you would not have done that during A-levels, because actually there's no libraries available like that. But when you get to uni, that's a norm. So yeah. So yeah, those are just my few bits of advice for if you're thinking of taking psychology as a degree. Honestly, I hope this video helped. And if you have any more questions, feel free to comment down below and I'll reply to each and every one of them. Because yeah, this is an interesting time in one's life, I can imagine. So yeah, if you want any advice, hit me up. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.